So let's talk about home. Let's talk about home, man. My experience in South Africa, visiting home. Being in South Africa, actually, something that I'm noticing over a period of time is that it feels like there's so much tension in the country, in South Africa. There's just so much tension, and with this tension that we have right now in South Africa, people, because of the struggles in the country and things that are going on, people have become vicious. It's interesting, actually. In South Africa, people are vicious now. Like, it's almost like everyone is out to get you. Everyone is trying to get money out of you, South Africa has become so vicious. I find it very interesting. People that are close to you, are very close to you, right? People that you trust and what's not can also try to get something from you, friends or what's not, that thing, it's almost like the place is toxic in a way. I watched an interview in SABC News, actually. It was Dr. Padi Lehohla on the news. When I saw him, actually, he captures this very well, what I'm trying to say. He said he has a rabbit, and when they are not fed, they eat their young. So they are young ones. So just like cats and dogs, obviously, sometimes we know that animals will eat their youngs. So he said rabbits specifically, when they are not fed, they tend to eat their youngs. And he feels like South Africa has eaten the future of their own kids, their own children. So that's how it feels like in South Africa. It's like South Africa has getting to that point whereby you can smell this thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually end up experiencing a civil war in South Africa. Because how civil wars, for people who do history would know, how civil wars come about is whereby the country goes through this period whereby the poverty line gets so wide, in a sense that the people who are poor are becoming more, and they are eating into people who used to be middle class are becoming poorer. So instead of having a bigger middle class, you're starting to have a poor community or society, and then your middle class is diminishing and becoming poorer, and then the richer, actually the rich people who can afford and have money, actually also gets very limited, because people are not as wealthy anymore because of the currency losing value, lack of service delivery, so many things happening in South Africa. So also the portion of people who can afford or who have things is getting very limited. There's this small number of people actually that have access and that have money. So access is limited now. Even if, for example, when I'm saying access is limited, I mean, growing up in Kuhluwe, in my grandmother's house, that's where you wouldn't have water and electricity. But ekati go Newcastle or Sizweni, we had water and electricity, and service delivery was way better than Kuhluwe. But now I can't tell the difference between the two, actually. So that's a problem, because you are supposed to be growing the poor areas and making them middle classes, rather than losing the middle class areas, having them become the poorer areas. So I think we have that issue as a country. And I've noted that we have normalized poverty. Potholes, lack of service delivery is normal in South Africa. It's very normal. It's so typical. It's just normal. It's a day-to-day things. And to the point that I remember I'm driving with my little sister and I'm complaining about potholes, and she laughs at me. She's like, yo, brother, I can tell that you don't live in South Africa anymore, because you're complaining about potholes for so long. Actually, for us who live here, we don't even see any problem now with the potholes. It's like we've gotten used to having potholes, that we don't see them as an issue anymore. I was like, that's crazy. That's how wild it is. So people have gotten accustomed to having lack of service delivery and potholes as a norm. And then Mina coming also from outside, because I haven't lived in South Africa for so long, all the time when I visit home, I keep complaining about them. So those type of things, that says a lot, So weird, actually, bro. I was thinking, there's so much good about South Africa, bro. I want to celebrate my country, bro. But, it's so hard to celebrate and just look over service delivery. It's so hard, actually. Very hard. Let me get my Vaseline. It's so hard to celebrate. Very hard. You know? How do you celebrate? It's so hard. You know, I'm so happy that I was home. I was in South Africa, bro. Like, come on, boy. Oh, face, boy. I was in SA, bro. I love being home, bro. I love being in South Africa. Yeah, it's just a sad reality, though, that we have to face about the state of the nation and where we are as a country. So those are the things that stood out for me, you know. You know, it's almost like South Africans in general, they remind me of this phenomenon of Capitec Bank users. I think it's a great phenomenon. I don't know if you've noted this. Capitec came out to say, it doesn't matter now if you withdraw money at Capitec ATMs or you use other banks' ATMs, you're gonna be charged the same amount of money, right? Everybody knows this because at least I know this. I don't even live in the country, but I know this because Capitec came out and said that it's the same now, actually, whether you're using whatever ATM. But South Africans, just like how they are conditioned to get used to abnormality as the new norm, you know, they still line up in the Capitec Bank and create all these long ass lines in the Capitec Bank. You know, they create all those long lines in the Capitec Bank instead of using the other ventures, the other ATMs. People will line up in a Capitec Bank while Standard Bank is next to them, and what's the other bank? Nedbank, which are always empty next to them, but still line up in the same bank. That says a lot about the mentality of people in the country. It's almost like we have that just follow and just maintain the status quo in the country. So we don't have that thing of wanting change. You know, I feel like that idea all the time when I see Capitec users lining up in the Capitec ATM, it just captures how we are as a country. How, like, mentally, for an example, we have gotten ourselves accustomed to these things that are out of the norm. Lining up in an ATM like that is crazy to wait so long for your money. But now you have all these other ventures you can use, but you still do the same thing. So South Africa, it's like that captures the essence of what I'm trying to say about the citizens, the South Africans, and how they are, and they've gotten so accustomed to all the abuse, all the just not winning in life. You know, which is so used to not winning in life, man. You know, that just breaks my heart. Otherwise, bruh, it's nice to be home. It's nice to be in SA, man. SA, bro, it's my home, bro. It's nice to be there. It's nice to be there.